But yeah, man, what's going on, bro? Talk to me.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to
you. Are you talking to me?
I'm talking to you, lad.
Welcome to the second episode of the What Does Your Mum Think podcast. Come on, bro, let's go. We need a little bit of extra energy today. We're both a little bit out of it. So, Steve, you're going to have to carry us when you get here. I can't call you Steve as well. We're going to have to stop that. So, yeah, today who've we got on, lad?
Got a man like Josh, who we've obviously, again, been quite close to his career upwards trajectory throughout the years. A photographer based in London, with a little gang and up to doing sick shit, bro.
Why do we call him Steve? I've just always called him Steve because I know that's the thing, but I think
he won't like this, so we can't call him Steve.
Oh, okay.
But it's Josh. But Steve the Pirate came really quickly. A short story, and I think it was a night out at uni, and he used to have this really eloquent mustache that was reminiscent of the nuances of a pirate, so to say. So we went out on a night out as you do at uni, and things just stick, don't they? And it was just Steve the Pirate, and then that was a catalyst for then the house that we lived in. Well, I didn't actually live in, the gang lived in, became a ship, and as you do at uni, you know. So it's always been Steve the Pirate, and it's never really left.
Without further ado, should we unleash the mustache?
Yeah, man, pull Steve on, but it's not Steve. It's Josh. Hi, Josh.
Hello.
Hi. Let me.
Hello. How you doing, man?
Good, mate. How are you? How are you both? Lovely chaps. Nice to see you.
Really good to see you first. It's been a while, hasn't it?
It has.
Yeah, big ups. Thank you very much for doing this.
No problem.
We appreciate you very much. And the mustache is still very present, as we can see.
It's never going. Meg this morning was like, "Oh, shave it off." I was like, "Are you mental? No, it's not me.
Nah,
you won't know me. You won't recognise me."
Lovely settings. But yeah, welcome to the second episode of the What Does Your Mum Think podcast. It's an honour.
Honour to be here.
And we'll have just a nice back and forth about what you've been up to and what you're doing, lad. How's your weekend been?
Yeah, nice. Went to Joby's little birthday thing at Rowan's yesterday.
Oh yeah, a little bit of bowling, yeah.
Well, a little bit. It's mad in there, you know.
Yeah, it is. They've never
crazy, such an eclectic group of people.
Yeah. They've.
How about you?
They've never changed the decor, have they?
No.
Do you know what I mean? The crusty carpets and that.
Yeah, like proper sticky feet.
Horrible. I went to a little. Is it an exhibition? What I say? Mark Denton's got a little thing on at Jealous Gallery.
Oh yeah.
So I bobbed into that. I mean, I love it. You know what I mean?
I went to the Tate as well, actually, with all the. That was nice.
Oh, I loved it. Very nice. I love that you do that with her.
Yeah.
Cool. And just to kind of pass in, and it's basically all these like. I don't know when we'll release this, but if it is out, it is worth. If you're walking past it, go and check it out in Shoreditch. But it's all these little doodle things. But I love the way they did it. They're all like A4 pieces of paper, and they just whacked them everywhere.
Cool.
You know, it's only a small spell. Obviously, they sell prints and that, don't they?
Yeah.
Sell out there, but
it's a bit like that guy who does those like little characters. Do you know what I mean? There was one in Shoreditch on the side of a building, and there's just tiny little like figures, like sort of cartoony figures. And he did a shop that was just completely full of that. Literally everything, like the tables, the chairs, it was all like.
Is that the doodle guy, or is this something else?
Maybe.
Lewis, just pull that up if you don't mind. Mark Denton, Jealous Gallery.
I think the doodle guy does sound.
Doodly.
Yeah, that top one there.
Oh wow.
So it's all, you know, I mean, obviously his iconic bits, his campy stuff for that, but then he had this lovely one on the wall where it was three lions on the shirt. It was quite nice. Just lovely little observations.
Yeah, they're like little like newspaper clipping sort of style, aren't they?
Yeah, they are cool.
Yeah, that's boss. Quite cheap.
Not too bad, are they? Do you know what I mean? I was considering buying one. I've been looking at trying to buy a Shrigley recently. We went to the London Art Fair, not this weekend, last weekend with the missus. And
oh, you hesitated then.
Kill me now.
Which one?
It was the one in Angel, and I was like I said, I'm trying to buy one by thingy, but obviously they're all secondary there, so they're through the roof.
Yeah.
I want to try and get one for face value, but Jealous, obviously, if I'm trying to keep an eye out here and see if I can buy one from there.
Jealous is cool because they have, I think they have like some scheme as well, like a payback scheme. So if you were getting something worth quite a bit.
Yeah.
I've never heard of this. It's a nice, really nice website. It's a good concept.
Yeah, it's cool. When I was like a poor...
Oh, that's the Three Lions one.
Yeah, I feel like that kills me.
When I was like a poor junior designer, I got like a benign print.
Oh yeah.
Get it. It was a bit stupid. I probably shouldn't have got it, but anyway, I did get it on like this scheme, and it was like £15 a month for a year.
The thing is, though, when it's worth doing, do you know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Worked with when I first started getting a little bit, I fucking know it's like wine in it. I know a little bit about a lot. There's loads to fucking know about it in a way. But I was working on shoot when I was at TD with this guy called Andy Grimshaw, photographer, funnily enough, who shoots a lot of like cameo bits for product photography and stuff like that. But obviously has a lot of his own personal projects on the go too. But anyway, in his studio, he's got this massive fucking studio. And throughout the studio, he's got Harlan Millers all around the fucking studio. I like, what are these prints? And I looked into how much they're worth, lad, and I was like, shit! Like his retirement is literally on the wall. It's mad. So I was like, yeah. So I started speaking to him about it. And when I was there, he got onto a Shrigley print for face value, and he just bought it there and then. I think it was like 700 or 800 quid it was. But again, like the flip of them, if you're going to flip them, in years to come, say, you're winning, really, aren't you?
Yeah, like you said, that's your pension, isn't it?
Yeah, man, if you could get into it properly. So I'm finna stack a few bits of art.
Yeah, good, man. Those things are good to think about, especially when you're freelance as well, because unless you've got like a private pension or whatever, it's a good thing to get into because it's so niche and you already know about it anyway. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
It's an interest of ours, isn't it? And I think if you can buy something that you like, that'd be my thing, right? I wouldn't buy it just to sell it. It'd be like something Supreme, I guess, in a way. I'd buy it to wear it, but if I ever wanted to sell it, you know what I mean, I could sell it kind of thing. I'd make sure it was a print that I liked so I could have it on my wall because, you know what I mean, if you got to look at that thing every day, I'd be fuming.
That's always been the tactic because like buying clothes can be almost free because you can you could buy a piece from Supreme or whatever it is. You wear it for a year or two, and then you can sell it for more money. Like so, it's like a no-brainer. It's the same thing with art, and you like you say, get something nice that you can put up on your wall, and then when time comes, unless the artist does something bad, and then the value goes down.
Cancelled.
Yeah. Or Ben Iron slapped his missus in a gallery, and
did he?
Yeah, it's not a good look, is it?
Shit.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
Is that recent?
Happened about 6 months after I bought the print. So fuck's sake.
It's worth nothing now.
Um,
You see, what's that artist that he was selling his own piss in cans.
fucked,
He was outside. He was walking past the Tate like I don't know 3 months ago. I can't remember his name. He had a really good exhibition at Newport Gallery a long time ago, and he does all these like almost real sculptures of people. Like super like realistic. Let me look it up.
That space. I love Newport Gallery.
Yeah, it's wicked.
Yeah, it's gorgeous, isn't it?
Yeah, you're selling cans of piss for £500, so you could buy this can of piss. Like, and it was branded like a sort of hipster beer.
Oh, let's see. Can you find the link? If you can find a link, put it in the chat there. Lewis will pull it up.
Yeah, I'm just looking for the art. What the artist? I'm so bad with names.
I know I'm good with a face. I don't anything visual. I think we're all the same in it. We're good with visuals, but bad with fucking.
Yeah, exactly.
Lewis, Google cans of piss for £500.
That'll probably come up, man. Why do you find past exhibitions on?
Have you got it there, Lou? Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. Oh. What's his name? What was the artist's name?
You can buy you for £500.
Gavin Turk.
Gavin Turk, yeah. His work's amazing though. Like, the bin bag thing was what I seen in Newport, and then they had like sculptures of himself, like some of them naked, and some of them just like half human, half chicken. It was just a bit mad, but.
This bin bag thing seems a little bit you, Steve. So I think we can transition quite nicely from this into you.
Yeah, I mean that's probably why I like that his work, I guess, because it's so. It's just about the everyday, isn't it? Like just really normal stuff that you'd see, and trying to sort of make it look more interesting with light or composition or anything like that.
Do you want to pull up these two images on Instagram, which Josh sent? So basically, these are when you started experimenting. And funnily enough, that's actually Christian's hand. Right?
Hands there, brother.
I thought that was a good one to put in it.
Yeah, I was going to actually have a switch up in career after this. You know, I think what's beautiful about these, Steve, again, I've mentioned it to you a few times, like that kind of exactly what you just said, but like the beauty and the mundane, like the usage. I remember that shot that we took, it almost didn't look like that, you know, like I just don't know where you capture it. You know what I mean?
I don't know, since I got into photography, I was always obsessed with light and just looking around to see what I could see to make something look nicer or to see how it reacted with light. I think the main obsession that I've got is light and how it reacts with materials and objects. So it doesn't actually matter if it's a nice object or it's, you know what I mean? Like it could be anything, but if the light falls in it in the right sort of way, then I feel like I need to take a picture that I've got to do it. Do you know what I mean? And I guess that just happened there, didn't it? Like,
yeah.
I started to write down, like when I'm like reflecting back on your work, and I'm thinking you've got this obsession with natural light, and I started to write and the way that people use an object, but actually I realized it's like the way someone does a certain task, and like what you're saying, Christian, is this mundane use of an object. Like where does that come from? Like I've seen you when we've been sat out in a pub or something, you're taking pictures of people's hands, the way that they're just grabbing the bottle, the way that they're just eating like a chicken wing or whatever it is. Like you're obsessed with the way people like pick things up and handle like the task is in front of them.
I guess it's interactions within just a day-to-day life. Like it's so normal to just pick up a glass, or so normal to wash a glass, or wash some, I don't know, like change a light bulb or any of those things. And I guess you don't really spend the time to look at it in a different way.
Yeah.
But then if you combine like a knowledge of light and what looks good in that sense with those really normal things, it makes them a completely different topic or subject, I guess.
Yeah.
Like this milk bottle, for example, like I was literally just about to put it in the recycling, and I was like, wow, that looks really cool. And then just like stuck it in, because the window in my living room in the morning, you get this like really beautiful light.
Yeah.
And the sort of the framing of the window cuts off the light, so you get like a really strong sort of like shard of light coming through. And anything, you can put anything in there and it'll just look amazing and look different.
Yeah. It almost looks painted, bro.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like with the way it is crazy. And then like living, I can imagine, I'd love to look through your photos on your phone.
I've got a silly amount of pictures on my phone.
What do you shoot on? Like I don't understand how you
this stuff or
in general, like because like the stuff you even put on your stories.
And that's all just on my phone. Like I'm on a Samsung, which is unusual, I guess, for someone in this industry. I don't know what it is. I just found the cameras I just find it a million times better than Apple. And also one of the main reasons why I swapped wasn't mainly to do with the camera, but that was a big thing, obviously, was the memory thing on Apple. Like I constantly have a message like, oh, you need to do this, you can't do this, you're not got a space, you need to back up this, you need to pay for this to back up that. And with this, like, yeah, I don't have those issues at all. But yeah, the camera's phenomenal on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, to shoot like in the studio or whatever, I'm a Canon.
Mm-hmm. Plus the Canon. So, I mean, obviously we've already got into it a little bit there, but pulling it right back to uni and starting at uni, what made you want to do photography in the first place? Was it a college, coming out of college? Like what?
It was college, yeah. I think I really enjoyed making sculptures and stuff, and
Nice.
and the process of documenting it. Obviously, like some of the stuff was too big to keep, or it was temporary or whatever. And you know, like Andy Goldsworthy, the artist.
I don't, but Lewis will pull him up.
He's incredible. He was another reason why I got into it, because he was just making sculptures out of natural objects, and then to document it was through photography. And I was like, you can use photography as this medium. It's almost like he's painting. Because the stuff that he makes, it's ephemeral. Like it disappears within like whatever the process is. These leaves are obviously going to biodegrade, and he puts stuff in the sea where waves will eventually knock the sculptures down or whatever. But the final product is a picture, which I thought was quite an interesting way to look at photography. It's not like the sculpture is the piece, but photography makes it become a piece.
I
actually noticed this in your work. Now you said it, like even looking at your profile picture. There's stacked objects, and then there's the reflection of the head in the background, and it's like the two things working together, which is really cool.
And the only way to see that is obviously with a picture, I guess. Exactly.
Yeah. And then from there, obviously, then you got into photography. So that you took the photography course, at uni.
Yeah. So I think someone come in to do a talk, like a photographer came in from Manchester Uni, I think.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, he was like, I think you like work is good enough to get into, because I didn't do photography at college. Even though there was a thing to do that, I just did it in my spare time. Like loads of my mates would go out and take pictures, and that's where I got into it sort of big time. Just becoming an obsession, I guess. And then, obviously went to UConn to study photography. And there they didn't really teach, it's a sick uni, they didn't really teach that much technical stuff. It was more like conceptual, like fine art kind of thing. And it was like, you find what you are into and then use photography to document that. Like, I don't know, you might be like an activist within like, the elderly or something, and you go and find those people and you photograph that, and that becomes your sort of way of working. But yeah, that's it really.
Nice. And then through that, then I guess you start kind of like finding your own style in a way and getting to obviously what you've got to now. What was the process of that like then? What you're saying? So for instance, people go and shoot the elderly, you like shooting the kind of like, for my interpretation, the beauty and the mundane. What did you go on like any tangents of like specific still life or people in general, or you know what I mean? Did you go off to come back kind of thing, or?
Yeah, there's always been like ups and downs. Definitely, like I've sort of fallen out of the habit of taking pictures often, quite a few times, and sort of got like you get frustrated with. Now I'm a photographer and that's what I do to make money. But prior to that, I was trying to make that happen, and you get frustrated with not getting the work and seeing other people getting the work, and you think, they haven't really done it for that long, or you don't think their work's that good or whatever. And so I've definitely had a lot of battles with like, not finding my thing and getting distracted and sort of like pushing it to the side and then coming back to it again. And then I guess it's that, just like experiment with how you shoot and then leave it for a bit and then come back to it and keep developing in that sense and then reviewing your work. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's been like a specific thing that I thought like this is what I need to do.
Yeah.
I think that comes across in your
slow
work.
process. Do you know what I mean? A very slow process.
Well,
Yeah.
You do lots of sort of documentary reportage style photography, which comes through in all those sort of mundane day-to-day actions. But then a lot of your portfolio work is like quite luxury product photography and portrait photography.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can see that coming through there, and also you can see the exchanges. So in the photography, you see all the gradients and reflections coming through from the light, the natural light you like capturing in the mundane.
Yeah.
You see how it like that transition between that milk bottle before can easily kind of like correlate with shooting something beautiful for a high-end shoot or something like that. Do you know what I mean? It's the same thing.
Yeah, just a bit more polished.
Yeah, so to say.
Yeah,
Steve, I think it's fucking great, lad. And again, we've seen the journey in it, and I feel like when it's at uni and we're at uni doing our thing, it's hard to really kind of understand it in a way. Do you know what I mean? It becomes a bit of a different language. But I think where me and Michael are at now in our careers, and again, obviously being where we're at just in life, I guess you can interpret it a little bit better, and I think you can digest it a little bit more. And I feel like I understand it now. I get it, do you know what I mean? And again, like even like shooting stuff for like key visuals for brands and things like that, when it just needs to be this one killer shot that could be, you know what I mean, any of these things, and interpreted in these ways. So your initial stages of discovering your focus and your goal. If you want to just pull them first two links up, Lewis, please. So again, if we can kind of build from here, so we're shooting at home, and that we spoke about your process and the kind of serendipity that comes with it, and then. So with this then, as a photographer's career and for other photographers listening, obviously you're doing your own thing there and you're your own entity, but you've assisted along the way, haven't you?
Yeah.
A lot of learnings from that. Tell us about this process. You know what I mean? From like going from these to being in studio shooting with a certain photographer, and then obviously leading now to where you're going to get to shooting your own things at the in-between almost.
Yeah, so obviously, after I graduated, moved straight to London, and just started I worked in Sainsbury's just so I could live in London, so that I could meet photographers and be in a studio, or like assist anyone that I thought I could learn something off. It didn't matter what type of photography they were doing. Do you know what I mean? It was more like I needed to learn and how it's done professionally, so it could eventually become a career. But yeah, there's probably, I think I assisted for 6 years, maybe 7, something like that. It's a long time. But for the early stages of it, I was just in an e-com studio, basically like an intern, getting I think I got like 20 quid a day. But like I wasn't bothered if I didn't get paid. You know what I mean? Like I was learning, and I was like obsessed with learning about it and how to progress in that sense. And then from that, I met other photographers that would work freelance there, and then they would pass me on to other photographers to assist other photographers, blah blah blah. But it ranged from, like, obviously towards the end I ended up assisting mostly in still life, which is obviously where the sort of route I'm going down. But yeah, at the start there was like people that I assisted who were photographing like events and like gallery spaces, or like functions, or some stuff that's just like really tacky. Which it's good to learn from those people, because you'll learn some stuff like how to do things properly, but then also you learn how not to do things as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important as well to know, like even if it's like how not to speak to a client, or how not to like something, or whatever it could be. If it's related to the industry, it's going to help you in the long term. But yeah, that went on for, I think, the last sort of 4 or 5 years of assisting was where I was quite comfortable with the people and happy with the people that I was assisting. I guess people that I looked up to and learned a lot from.
I love that, lad.
It's been a fun journey. Like I never went into it assisting work and was like, oh, this is shit. Do you know what I mean? I always was excited to do it. Whereas working in Sainsbury's is slightly. But even that, I didn't mind because I knew that I had to do that to stay in London. Do you know what I mean? I worked Friday to Monday, so that I had most of the week free to be able to assist if the opportunity came up. Do you know what I
mean? Yeah. Without dropping any names, I mean, you can do if you want. But have you got a memorable bad experience? Not, I wouldn't say worst and best because I can imagine there was multiple of each. But is anything that kind of stands out to you with like stuff where you're like, shit, I ain't gonna fucking do it that way, or or even if it's like with what you were shooting, say, do you know what I mean? Like an experience that was, like I said, for lack of a way of saying it, good and bad. You know, like what was the craziest thing you shot to the, you know what I mean?
I don't know about the like. There was like this guy who used to he shot like the Royals and stuff, and he used to do like these events and all this, and it was just like proper. He did wedding. I never assisted him on weddings and that, but it was the stuff that he did in London that I worked with him on. And he used to like photograph a lot of shop fronts, and it was just proper dry. Like,
yeah.
So dry. But yeah, that was the thing where I was like, I definitely don't want to end up doing this as a career because like I'm not going to be happy. Like he desperately wanted to be like a fashion photographer, but he didn't make it at that. And I think it was obvious that he was bitter that he hadn't got to there, even though he had the skills to do it. He just didn't have like, I guess the portfolio to back it up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I always remember being like, I don't want to. I'd rather go back to working in Sainsbury's than doing something like that because it just, I could tell you sort of like kicking yourself whilst you're doing that. Do you know what I mean? It's like kind of close to what you want to do, but not really.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, where maybe if you just step back, assisted for the right people, like the journey you took, and now you've surrounded yourself within that journey around photographers that maybe shoot or work in a similar fashion,
exactly.
like still life photography, and then now you took good learnings from those guys, and then now you're doing your own thing. So was there a circle of photographers that you must have had maybe like 4 or 5 people that you preferred to work with, and you've probably maybe took the most inspiration from?
There's a duo called Baker and Evans, and I worked with them for I don't know 4 or 5 years or something, that kind of being their first assistant, and learned a lot from them, and they end up just becoming like mates. You know what I mean? Which is sick to know that in our industry you can just work with your mates. Like,
yeah, dude, yeah, 100%, yeah.
And then there's a guy, Graham Montgomery. He's like old school still life photographer, who I was kind of his first as well, and I learned a lot from him. And he like let me, before I had I've got a studio now, but before he just used to let me use his studio whenever I wanted, which was like a proper godsend. Obviously in London it's expensive to not only have the equipment but like have the space as well. But yeah, obviously took advantage of that.
Oh, bro, sick. So with that said, I think that's a nice transition into where we were getting to before. So onto your first cover. So it's link free, Lewis. So this is something that you shot yourself, right? So do you have an assistant working with you on this, or do you?
It was one of my mates, Jack.
Oh, nice. So
I think once before I've had to use someone who I didn't know, and it's down because obviously with assisting, like someone's only going to recommend someone if they know that they're as good as them to be put up to the job. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, that was just my mate who assisted me on that.
Yeah. So talk us through this, and how did Wallpaper end up getting in touch?
So through working with Baker and Evans, they used to work with Wallpaper a lot, and I, got like familiar with the team, and obviously like exchange like Instagrams and stuff. Not obviously, I wouldn't be like, oh, look at my work, because that's massively disrespectful. But, they were just intrigued as to what I would shoot, and then I don't know, maybe like 2 or 3 years down the line, they ended up putting me up for doing this front of book shoot. And I feel like I did fairly well with it.
It's mad, you know, because like I remember when you and Megan used to transform the living room in Chatty Road.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And there'd be like backdrops, and you see the shots happening. And you can see the journeys you've gone on. You've shot in your own. It's mad. Do you know what I mean? So what's the inspiration for these, Steve? Do you know what I mean? So like, how do they brief you in on it, so to say, or do they just look?
They just looked to my work and were like, they're amazing magazine to work for. They're so up for working with upcoming photographers or like people who have no experience, people who are studying still, and they just give you like sort of free reign to do your thing and trust that you're gonna, do it well. So yeah, that was sick. They just said like, we love the sort of color that you like to use and the light, and we've got an amazing team, like the stylist, the makeup artist, blah blah. All really good. Everything's done proper. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. You can see like your touch is coming through this with the gradients and the light, the way it hits that watch, the way it hits the products. Like,
yeah, I think this was probably one of my maybe best shoots. I think.
Dude, it's awesome.
And there's quite a variety in here. So shooting people, shooting portraits, shooting products, and it's it all comes together really cohesively.
Yeah, that was the thing. That was a big thing that I thought. I never understood why there was always like, you do still life and you do fashion. It's like you get boxed into these things, and I was always like, what? Like, what is that about? Like, we're just photographing stuff. Like, does it matter? It doesn't matter if it's a person there or a lamp. You know what I mean? Like it. I guess if you maybe there's people that don't do it so, like you said, cohesively, but I don't see why you can't merge the two together and make it like a consistent sort of body of work.
Yeah,
I agree with this, and this happens a lot in the design world, where people might only work with like a brand designer, or and they won't touch that designer if they don't have any packaging. But it's more about the creative thinking, and you can apply it to everything. And like, there's one thing I read a few days ago, because everyone always says like a jack of all trades is a master of none, and apparently that's not the full quote. And it resonates a lot with me, because I feel like the way I approach design is I like to touch a little bit of everything, and not everyone, but the common saying is like, don't spread yourself too thin. And I try not to. I try everything I do. I try to make sure there's like good balance across everything. But the actual full quote, which is by Shakespeare,
is it?
Just dropping some literature on you here. A jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one.
That's very nice.
So do you see yourself as a jack of all trades?
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't know. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I think you are drawn more to one of them things. Right? All right, you might be able to do you might be shooting 5 different things, but there's probably going to be one of them things that you like shooting the most out of the 5, right?
Yeah, no, that definitely happens. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, and that's it, Michael, with design too. It's like, as much as like we'll do something editorial or I'll do some bit of packaging, whatever. My thing is that big idea in branding. Do you know what I mean? And getting that logo that goes throughout. Not to say we can't do the other things. It's just I think creatives, well, myself, I think I have a certain kind of a certain passion in a single kind of avenue, so to say,
which is the big idea. And if that big idea works on like a piece of branding, it should work on the pack as well, like what that device is. That's what I'm saying, is like it should. We always say it should spread as it got legs. Like,
but I know what you mean. But it's good. So it's the thing about like the martial artist quote. If you want to drop quotes, it's like, don't fear the man who's practiced 1,000 kicks. It's fear the man who's practiced one kick 1,000 times, right? So I think there's there's validity in
when I read that quote, I knew you was going to come back to me with that Bruce Lee quote. I knew 100%. This is going to be Christian's counter, and I'm like, fuck about the quotes now.
If you just nail something and you nail the first thing, you know what I mean? Like, but it's like, I think Steve, like you see see Josh's work. You see the coherence through everything, from the first shot of me being a beautiful hand model in Chatty Road, even transitioning over to this, like there's that thread. There's that. It's not like he's gone off and started shooting stuff that's really graphic and vivid, and you know, or like you know what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying. I think.
I know what you're saying.
Listen, we're both on the same team, mate. We're both on the same side.
So on the back of that, Steve, Josh, is there any restrictions you put on yourself, like when you're working on this kind of stuff? Like, do you know what I mean? Right, I'm just going to brief myself to only use this amount of things to get this certain shot.
Not really. No, I feel like when I'm shooting, I'm quite what's the word? Like intuitive. Like I react to what's going on in the moment. But yeah, I guess you're limited to how much equipment you've got to do whatever you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because what I always find, like the tighter the briefing, the more creative you need to be with what you're working with, you know, and the restrictions you put on yourself, it almost makes you has to, like you said, be a bit more intuitive for what you're working with, you know. But yeah. Nice. Okay. I think that's a lovely transition into link 4. So this now, obviously, being your first cover job, this is now your first ad job.
Yeah.
So talk to us through the process of this, my man.
The process from how I got the job, or the actual.
Yeah. So this is for Flannels Beauty, right?
Yeah. So weirdly, the producer who did it met Megan when she was working in the French house, and she mentioned that she's a producer to him. Was like, oh, I'm doing this production for Flannels, looking for a still life photographer. And Meg was like, oh, my boyfriend's a still life photographer, and showed her my work, and she was like, oh, sound. And then ended up getting put up to do it, and they were like, yeah, let's do it. And then from that, I think I did like 6 shoots with them, like once a month.
Nice, lad.
Which was that was actually the point where I was like, I need to stop assisting now.
Yeah.
Because obviously, like, it's weird. It's kind of weird, the photography industry. Like, if people know that you're still assisting and you're getting put up to shoot jobs, it's a bit of a red flag sometimes for clients, I think. Where they're like, oh, this guy's still assisting. Which is quite a sad thing, really, I guess, isn't it? But it's just the way the industry works. Because there's a lot of, to do the job, it means a lot for the client. You know what I mean? I put a lot of money and effort into making it work. And if there's a risk there that you don't know what you're doing, because you're still assisting, they'll just be like, it's not worth the risk, because there's enough people out there who aren't assisting and are just shooting.
I think this happens in design as well. Like, you can start somewhere as a junior, and sometimes you'll forever just be that junior until you move on.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think, you know, it can work in quite a similar way, the way people look at you. So these shots, Steve, how were they used, like in situ? Like, where were they used exactly?
I think they had some in the shop because this was when Flannels Beauty just opened, because this is only from 22. Like, before that, it was just Flannels. They just did clothes and that, and then they opened this beauty thing, and this was part of the sort of launch of it, I guess. And it was mostly for online, like on the website and social media and all that. But then also, I'm pretty sure that they had some printed in a few of the shops.
Yeah, cool. It's just interesting because they're obviously not just like flat ecom like pack shots, are there? There's like a lot of element of art direction to them, like going back to your first, your first pictures that you showed us on Instagram, like the ones you shot of Christy, and you get the reflections, your gradients there. Like that Burberry shot is that shot of Christian's hand. You know what I mean? It's when that light sits through it. It's just.
But that was quite nice because as a client, they were like, "We like your work, so just put us a mood board together and we'll see what we think." And then I just put what I liked and what I thought was good in this deck, and they were like, "Yeah, great." And then I did the shoot. Yeah. But it was the thing with this is like there's like 30 pictures that we had to do, and in a day doing 30 pictures for still life it's a lot.
Yeah. What are you shooting on there? Is it like is it like mirrors?
No, that's just perspex.
What is it?
I think. Yeah, that's so. The red one was a white perspex. But the background is obviously red, and then the shadow of the shadow that's on the perspex is red, obviously, from the background. But and then the bit where the light hits it, it shows the true color, the white. And then the makeup one with the red gradient, that's red perspex with a white background.
Lovely, aren't they?
But yeah, it's a nice job to get, and especially it definitely helped with that transition of going from assisting to shooting my own stuff.
So then moving on with shooting your own stuff to the, I might butcher this, Cleopatra collection. Was that good?
Yeah, that's right.
Sweet. So you put this down as like an ideal client, and something else which is beautiful about this is you worked with Megan on this as well.
Yeah.
So why were these your ideal client?
Well, Megan she met the girl through a friend, and she obviously showed her our work, and we was like, "Oh, I'd love you to shoot these bags." And we were like, "Cool, let's do it." So this one wasn't paid. We were just like, let's just get some bags and shoot them how we want to shoot them. And then there's another shoot that we did recently with like a red bag on like white perspex, which I'm sure you can pull up in a sec. But Meg just had this idea to have these bags just at home in sort of fairly normal situations, but obviously we shoot it well and everything's like looking good, the product wise and light wise. And then she also had this idea of just putting the bag into a fish tank.
I love it. I love the fish tank.
Well, yeah, because the crystals kind of reminded her of like the like the stones you put in the bottom of a fish tank.
Really cool, man.
Yeah. Is the contrast of the complementary colours of the gold fish, the sort of the orange and the blue is like
they go well together, don't they?
Really nice.
Yeah.
But now we've got some fish at home.
Are they yours now?
Yeah, they're there.
Have you got names?
Seaweed and Bounce.
What happened to the other three?
That's just duplicated. That's seaweed duplicated.
Nice. And them threads again.
We get them. Yeah.
the threads from your other work, that kind of, again, the beauty and the mundane, my expression of it, like the way the bag's being emptied on that first shot there with the tampon and stuff like that, and the lighter, just a really nice element in it. Do you know what I mean? A nice play.
Yeah, that's why it was like a great client to work for. And then on the next one, we got paid to do it, and she was like, just, what you did last time was amazing, and
really clever.
Do that again. But it was for like a wedding collection. If you go on, just click on the home, my name at the top of that website. And then click on that picture. And this is the series.
Oh, nice.
Sick.
But yeah, we were just like, it'd be nice to do sort of like a
sick. Polished
version of a wedding celebration, basically.
But again, like the connections, the oysters and the pearls, and the red wine and the cherries, and do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Really sweet, Steve. It's Josh. I'm so sorry.
It's fine.
Sorry to everyone. He is Josh.
Uncle Steve.
Josh David Payne.
So going on to the last project as well. So another common theme that's been sort of prevalent is working with friends, like you said, using assistants is always like pulling a friend onto a project. So this project, Tara Hacking, what was the sort of the connection with the friends that you worked with on this, and like how did that come about?
So there was there's an art director who's based in New York called Anna, and we just liked each other's work, and we became friends through working together. And then she proposed a deck to the designer Tara, who's friends with her as well, and yeah, it just became like a collaboration between three people. Like her work, Tara's work's amazing. Like it's about the everyday as well. Like some of the stuff that she gets is like photographs of car parts or motorbike parts or like hair, and then she'll print it and make it into a dress or pair, like whatever it is. So that was quite nice to work with someone with that sort of, I guess, similar eye, maybe.
Is there not you in the second one, in the finger with the sort of like liquidy gel on it?
Yeah.
Because all I can see is like a bird.
Dude, it's crazy. I'm literally just gonna say that.
Really? I never seen that.
That's all I can see.
Oh yeah! Wow. I never noticed that. Yeah, that's like a robin.
Yeah, and it looks like the red tip of the finger of the nail is like the wing.
That's fucking fantastic. Have that. Do you know what I mean? It's fucking great. Yeah, like the nail being the wing.
That can be the Christmas card.
It wasn't intentional, but you know, we could claim it as it is.
God, yeah, it does. Yeah, it's crazy. That, you know, they remind me a little bit of like the energy that Toilet Paper magazine carries. You know,
yeah,
like,
yeah, that's a nice magazine. Really nice magazine.
Yeah, like in your face.
Does that still exist?
I don't know. I just remember that I've referenced them a few times on projects and stuff like that. But
I remember I found them at uni, I think, and I was like, "This is such a cool magazine!" Like,
yeah, the bulbs to the covers. Go to the. Whoa, Jesus Christ! Even if you just go on Google, Lewis, and pull up like just on images.
Yeah.
The bulbs.
I forgot how sick they were.
They are proper sick, aren't they?
Yeah. But yeah, all of this is just like really normal stuff as well, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
Well, not it's semi-normal. It's like abstract. But...
Bizarre.
That egg one's boss.
Yeah, it is.
Going into a mouth. The one further down, that one, yeah. Who is that? Who shot that? Yeah, so that project anyway was like, it was just nice to work with people who you could bounce off. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
we all like each other's work, and we all like the process that we've got individually to make what we do. Like Anna as an art director, Tara as a designer, me as a photographer. And it's just such a nice environment to be with people and be like experimenting with all this stuff that you've got, which is relevant to the brand, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How much art direction do you play in a project like this as well? Because you obviously full of ideas as well. Like, how do you implement?
I think that kind of happened on the day. Like I mentioned before, I'm quite like spontaneous when I'm shooting. Like, I'll see something that I think, oh, we should do this, we should try this, or let's experiment with this, and blah blah blah. But so Anna put the deck together, and it was based on references from my work and her own stuff, which is kind of similar, and obviously Tara, the designer's work. So I guess like they've art directed it, but it's been based on my work, which a lot of the time I direct myself, if that makes sense. And then when it comes to the actual shoot, then you all are like you're on the same level. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The car light on the left, like was the ripple already sort of determined before you did the shoot? Because that seems like a spur in the moment idea.
Yeah, it was a spur of the moment. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know why. I think we just wanted water to be involved in it because a lot of the stuff is like, it has like water or this like gel stuff or all these different normal objects.
Maybe not a spur in the moment idea, but something like that's hard to plan. And it like, okay,
Yeah.
like a drop coming off this, and it seems like, oh, this will look epic if we do this. How did you have that light suspended as well? Like how do you even?
It's just rigged in with like a C stand and just I think it was garden wire that was hooked to, and then you obviously do plates without the stuff in, so you can brush in the background, which obviously gets rid of the wire.
Yeah.
The setting up's a nightmare, isn't it? Because I rang you a while back, Steve, because like Shang was shooting handbags.
Yeah, I remember.
We was putting them on the fishing wire, and they just fucking keep spinning around.
Yeah,
that's half the battle, isn't it? Like just trying to get it set up smooth, like just exactly how you want the shot.
Yeah. For that stuff, it's obviously really important that it's the same over and over again, isn't it?
Yeah.
But with stuff like this, I think we let it spin just to see how it reacted with the light.
Nice.
And eventually we were like, oh, it needs to be front on because the white part of the light, we put a flash gun into it. So it looked like it was lit up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And when we were shooting the bags, actually, we thought, actually, because it's spinning around, it gave us the idea, why don't we create like a GIF of them rotating? So it's stuff like that in it, which you can't pre-plan that sometimes.
No. It's something you see in the moment. Yeah.
Like, oh, this would be cool. So I think that's what's really cool about being on a set and shooting film or photography is like all these extra little details which you can pick up. Like you said, it's sort of like in the moment.
Yeah, because I do find it difficult. Like if a client says like, "Can you put a deck together?" I find it quite difficult without actually seeing or being there and seeing this product.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? It does take me some time to sort of put stuff together, and then generally on the day, things will change. Like it's obviously going to have to be like similar to the deck that you've put together, but more often than not, some spontaneity changes this project and makes it something really interesting.
Mm.
With these past 3 projects, I feel like, you know, we've got to the like professional Steve, like Josh, the professional Josh. Like everything's curated and beautiful and like, it just looks wicked.
Oh, thanks, man.
But there's like another side which like is actually one of my favorite things that you've done is the polite littering Instagram. Can we pull that up?
Which I've not. I lost track of that, man. Yeah,
you have, but there's something about it, Josh, that it's something that like anyone can go out and do. Do you know what I mean? That's the beauty in it. Is like when you're doing like a piece of branding, you always look for that thing that like, can someone just draw it really easily on a piece of paper, and if it's really easy to replicate, then that's usually a good sign. It becomes quite universal. I think this idea of how to shoot photography is something that you can do. I'm obsessed with like seeing cans piled up on the street on the street corner, like right next to a bin. Why don't you just put it in the bin? I have to take a picture of it. I think
you see stuff like that all the time. I don't know what goes through people's heads, man. But this one's it looks like a piece of art. I think I don't know why it looks like staged.
It does.
But it is. I guess it is staged, isn't it? It's been slowly put together by people going past.
Yeah, it feels sculptural as well. Going back to where it all started.
That's it. Yeah,
it's such a nice way of looking at the world. You know what I mean?
And it's literally a pile of shit.
I know, it's crazy, bizarre. I feel like a lot of the stuff, again, what you end up landing on is built very on like serendipity and like just looking in that classic Bill Cunningham quote, right? He who seeks beauty will find it. And I think again, it's echoed for everything you've just shown today. Do you know what I mean? That whole thing about looking and then shooting it in a certain way.
Yeah, I love that picture. That is like how many people must have done that to make it end up like that? It's so weird.
It is, and
I'd love to have seen each person doing that as well. Do you know what I mean? And making like a little montage of that process.
And the last couple of people must have had to like squeeze it.
The
Put
best
fingers
of them,
on all the wet butts.
You know what I mean? Like all the nasty ones and that fresh one there. Like
Yeah, it's ongoing. It'll probably never end, that will it?
People are mad, innit? Like,
yeah, they are, mate. And documenting it is I don't know what it does. Like, it's to get some sort of satisfaction from it somehow, or
it looks like a toilet.
that was in New York. That it just fit perfectly in that thing.
It's really good.
Yeah, I think I lost track of doing this page.
Is there any other?
Could you come back out of there and scroll down a little bit? Because I think there was a time when it was like
all just it
was pure litter. Keep going down. So, stuff like that where the cans on the railings. Yeah, like these bits.
And the takeaway boxes.
It's quite inventive.
People are fucked.
Yeah, like why'd you do that? Like what it's like someone's doing it to try and hide it, but it's not hidden, or to like help someone. Then I don't know what goes through people's heads. It's so weird.
And people start adding to it, just follow like sheep. It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, like is it littering if it's on litter already? Like,
and then there's another page, Steve. And actually, I don't know if you've got any relation to this, but what the fuck is Shoe Nation?
I don't have any relation to it, but it's a quality page.
I tried to find it, but
it's SHEU.
I always see you and Meg like sharing stuff or posting stuff around it.
I think it's.
Have you ever featured on
Alex Ray?
Alex Ray, no.
You know Alex Ray, don't you, Chris? Oh,
Alex Ray, yeah.
I think it's one of his mates in Hull. I think.
Oh fucking hell, Alex! Yeah,
has it come up?
Yeah, just direct Lewis on how to spell it here.
Yeah, let me just check on my Instagram.
I tried typing it out a million different ways. I put X's in. I tried to make it look as French as possible.
SHEUX.
Yeah, there is an X in it. I knew it.
Yeah. I don't know if he still posts.
Yeah, there you go. Nice one, Lewis.
It's kind of like also if after this page go on. Have you seen Subway Hands?
Yeah, that's another one you always post, isn't it? Yeah.
That one's good. Has he found it? Oh, is this it? Yeah.
Steve, when we're scrolling down, Steve, can you pick one out which resonates with you? Tell us why we're here.
Probably the one with no feet there, on the right. That one. They are batons, aren't they?
It's like the possibilities of how they got there as well. It's like it's the person vaporized.
So often as well. Like yesterday, there was like just a shoe on a wall. Like, where's the other shoe? What's going on there? Yeah, that one's good. That's like they've been placed there.
I seen one the other week. It was mad, you know. I was walking down a little alleyway near my ends there, walking to training, and there was one shoe next to a ripped condom packet. A bottle of beer. Do you know what I mean? I knew I should have took a photo of it. It would have been great to pull up now. But again, it's like almost like it takes you to a place in it. It's almost like you can create the scenario.
Yeah. What might have happened?
Like someone's literally just been hot stepping there, bro, and then like just come out of the creps. You know what I mean? And carry on.
Just like vaporized.
Yeah,
they're fucking great, aren't they?
Yeah, there's something about this that resonates with my work in that there's been some sort of human interaction there, and documenting it to make it look sort of sculptural or like something else is it's so funny. The red one. Yeah. Jesus.
You're thinking about the choice that person's made on that day to put those pants on with those specific shoes as well. Like,
them ones there, the ones bang in the middle, look like Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, they do.
Oh yeah, Mutant Ninja Turtle loafers.
Yeah, should we look at the what's the other one you mentioned? Is it Subway Hands?
Subway Hands, yeah.
Was that what you were going to say, Chris?
Yeah.
I'm not seeing that.
It's really good. Yeah, but the girl who does it, she's actually a really good photographer as well.
I love it. I love just like, again, you can see the correlation and why I understand why you like it. But like just looking at the world differently and looking at it like that, just like that one thing. Right, I'm just going to look at this one thing daily and see these like nuances that kind of are created over an amount of period of time. You know,
that's the sort of like method that I applied to my own work when I was like really trying to push to like make something cohesive and coherent, where I was shooting stuff in the living room when that light became beautiful at a specific time, and I was just putting stuff on the table, whatever it was, and I just did that repeatedly, like every pretty much. It was sort of around the COVID time.
I love it.
I just became obsessed with doing that, and I just did it every single day.
I really love it. I love how it captures the individuality of each person too. Like it almost tells a story of whatever they're wearing, the tattoos they've got, how they do the nails. You can imagine that person, you know. It's fucking great.
Yeah, they're really beautiful.
Yeah, they are. Nice, Steve. It's Josh. I think we did all right with the Josh Steve thing. It weren't too bad. And if you leave here with like your alter ego being Steve, then you know what I mean. It's grown. We've done our job. So what are you up to next to nicely finish on, Josh? What are you going projects? Any interesting projects that are coming out soon?
Not this month. Been dead, man.
Is it always that in January?
I think it was last time. Yeah.
Yeah.
But a lot of people that I know doing a similar thing, they have said the same as well, which is a bit of a relief.
Yeah. No, we're not sure.
And then potentially have something for eBay next month.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Maybe. But yeah, other than I've done another project with Tara Harkin, the design.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. Well, I've just been like trying to sort out my portfolio and website and trying to go to the studio as much as possible just to shoot so I can put more work out there.
Yeah.
And
yeah, great.
Stay busy.
And again, being exploratory in your own spare time, I guess, always, isn't it? You never not shooting stuff, lad. You're always active.
Mentally taking pictures. I do that quite a lot. Actually, if something's like gone past that you can't photograph, I'm like, I need to remember that. Or like try and recreate it in the studio or whatever.
Yeah, nice. I think that's a lovely way to end, Josh. And it's been, like I said, it's been really nice to see your upwards trajectory of experience in university with you, finding your style, even playing with that, just, you know what I mean, in them initial stages, whether it be the kind of the beautiful aspect of just shooting things at home and looking a certain way, and how that then correlates over to then shooting high-end products, I think is really nice. And it's
amazing that you can do that in this industry as well. Like you can do something that you love doing and get paid for it. Like
that is it. Like what you do for free, what you'd essentially shoot for free, you can get paid to shoot for. Like I think is awesome. Like we'll put all your threads in links. So obviously josh.david.payne for your Instagram. It's Josh David Payne for your website. Your Polite Littering account, which you're going to start building again, I'm sure.
I should do. I really should do this. I think I've got ADHD, so I can't do like. I do something for a little bit, then I'm like, I forget about it, and I need to go back to that.
I think
the idea with that is you want people. Maybe you could get people to submit their own as well, a little bit like because I take quite a lot of these pictures, so maybe I can help you, Steve.
Be more of like.
Just remember, there's another page that's kind of a similar sort of method of working. Focusing on one thing. It's the There's one for grandparents. It's called. Oh, let me get it now. It's so funny. It's called grandparents, but GRAM parents.
Grandparents. Clever.
It's just like proper cool gramps.
Gramps.
Oh yeah, lovely. I love colour, you know, and pops of colour.
Yeah.
I just find I can't again why I'm so amazed by how you shoot so well on your phone. Like I feel like I can never get that beautiful shot, you know.
Practice.
I know there must be something in the way that you hold your phone or something, lad.
Maybe, yeah.
And obviously a lot more too.
It's maybe the like 15 years of being obsessed with cameras has helped a little bit.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
I don't know, maybe.
And I think that's the thing in it, how you make it look so effortless, but it's so beautiful at the same time. I think it's a fucking art. That's what it is. It's what you do, lads. You know, like you said, and again, 15 years of doing it. So
yeah,
I think having that.
Nice.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Josh.
No, thank you.
Thanks for
pleasure.
And like I said, this is fresh, so it's like the third one. So we'll get you back on when we're on.
Yeah, man.
And free.
That'd be nice.
And you've took over even more the fucking photography world. You know what I mean? But we really appreciate you.
Nah, it's been nice, man. Really nice.
Thanks for your time. It's in a bit, man.
I love you, Josh.
See you in a bit.
Thank you.
Love. See ya.
Yeah, bye. Bye. Yeah, bye now. Yeah.
How do I get out of here?
You're killing me, Josh.
Go on, see you later.
Love, bro.
In a bit, man.
Love. That's why it always reminds me of what Mike Tyson just shuts the lid. He just
it's class, that video, isn't it?
That was really good. I think it was good for us to not be so like we're still stuck in. But it's mad you see them threads, but like we're so stuck in like, especially with design, finding this system and what the consistent thread is. We're still the same thing, but a different way of doing it, isn't it? Like.
Yeah, it's almost like he doesn't overthink it, but it happens.
Yeah,
regardless.
It's really natural, lad. It's really effortless.
Exactly, like the Robin thing is like, like it is what it is. Like, and there's something really beautiful about that, like objectiveness of design versus subjectiveness of art, and that's just something that like I struggle with a lot. Is being on that side. I'm always looking for like, okay, what's the nugget in that? Sometimes there isn't one.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just beautiful. Sometimes it's just cool, and that's fine.
Yeah, it was really refreshing talking to him in that kind of light. Pardon the pun. You know, and his work's amazing. It must be like for us again, like always looking for that little thing. Can you imagine a walk down the street for Josh just to the shop? You could get that thing there, you know.
Yeah. And take a picture of it whilst you're there.
Yeah, there is. Like, I don't think I hope I didn't disrespect him with like what I was saying at the end, but I just find I've said it a few times, but the way he just shoots things on his stories could be sat in an exhibition space.
Why would he be disrespected by that?
Because I think I was just like, well, you just take a photo on your phone kind of thing. I didn't want it to just be sound, you know what I mean? Like taking photos, say.
No, I know what you mean.
But that was great. Thank you if you are listening. So again, prematurely into our podcast journey. That was the first episode. We continue to keep going, keep moving, keep growing, keep learning, keep speaking to sick people, and moving forward. If you have any recommendations of people that maybe you'd like to hear us speak to or speak about, so to say, it'd be great if you sent it through to our email at whatdoesyourmumthink@gmail.com. I hope it's that. I'm guessing it's that. And yeah, please hit us up in the comments if that's easier. But yeah.
Oh, and all the other shit. Like, subscribe, comment. Yeah. Can we do the like, subscribe, comment? I'm gonna try and comp that in.
Yeah, sweet. But yeah, thank you for listening.